This is another presentation for Orkin, and it's to clarify some issues regarding configurations and customizations. And one of the questions that came up was, can I actually build a packet for a particular client by selecting the individual pages of a form? And I'm going to demonstrate how that would work. This has not been fully developed at this point, however. So for example, we would go in and we'd actually go in and select our customer information, and this could be pre-populated with all the customer information in the database. And so when we go to open the form, as I've demonstrated in the past, this new form would now have all this information pre-populated as we go to the different pages. In this example, I'm just pre-populating a few items. However, all of the billing information, all of this information could be pre-populated at the time the appointment was made or drawn out of the database if it's an existing customer. And so the investigator at the time wouldn't have to put in any of this information. In this case, for example, say they had, this is a drawing page, and say for example they had multiple stories that they had to go ahead and put in drawings for. What they could do is they could go to the pages and we'd actually see a plus sign, and now they would see all of the valid pages associated with this packet. And so we could actually select a drawing page, and we'd see an additional drawing page would be appeared. We'd see it pre-populate with the data associated with the customer. So if they had additional information, that would automatically pre-populate, and it would have all the features associated with that drawing. In this case, we've got the scope of work, which is part of the drawing package, and so it would be presented or not, depending upon what type of page they wanted to add. So this packet would be determined based upon the sort of document that was opened. So for example, if we opened a worksheet, which is just the, oops, I opened a proposal. If we open the worksheet, which is just a drawing packet, then when we look at the list of pages, it's blank, but it would just be the worksheet page itself, and we would just add that. Now, this is a customization, and that by its very nature is going to be very involved. It's going to require IT involvement because we're going to want to integrate with the back-end system so we can actually draw the customer information down. And so that requires a significant commitment. However, there are less expensive options available. So for example, when we look at Syntex Foundation, and we'll just go ahead and load their sheets into this, they have their information distributed via email. And what happens in this case, it would actually give their drawing, and so we'd see their scope of work. And this is their actual drawing page that they have. It has their information. We would not be linking to their database, and have not at this point, but they would be able to type in the information on site. They could actually have drop-down lists, etc. So when we actually type in an address in this case, and we'll just dummy that up, we have calculations that automatically pre-populates the date. It takes the inspector name from a setting inside the email settings. And so we could actually have this part. We would still have the drawing capability built into it. And we would have, in this case, we're showing Orkin's symbols. However, we could also distribute whatever symbols we want. So for example, these are Syntex's symbols that they would actually use for their drawing. And they still have the capability of actually adding the scope of work, which has the symbol associated with it. So there's a lot that can be done at a very minimal cost. And this might be a good way of starting into a project. Say, for example, you take 10 guys, you go ahead and get the library, which I've created for Orkin, get that distributed along with, say, the worksheet form so they can actually do their drawings. And that'd be the only portion we'd start with, and then see what sort of benefit that we get from that. And so that's a very low-cost option that can be done at a local level, but that could also lead into deploying and actually getting a full integration where you have all your customer information accessible while in the field. And that's kind of what I wanted to demonstrate in this point, just the options that are available to Orkin, and that's kind of what, and we'll see if they like this approach as well. Thank you.